You love that old Japanese car. The pop-up headlights, the wail of a small engine spinning to 9,000, the cold blast of period air conditioning on a summer night. Here is the part nobody tells you. If a manufacturer tried to build that exact car today and sell it new, large pieces of it would be against the law. Not frowned upon, not old-fashioned, illegal. The features that defined the golden age of Japanese performance got hunted down one by safety boards, environmental agencies, and emissions inspectors. Some were dangerous, some were poisoning the air you breathe, and some were just collateral damage in a quiet war on how cars are allowed to be built. These are 18 Japanese car features that are illegal now. Every single one is tied to a real rule, and the first one is sitting on the nose of half the posters on your wall. Number 1. Pop-up headlights. The flip-up light is the signature of an era. The Mazda RX-7, the first-generation MX-5 Miata, the Toyota MR2, the third-generation Honda Accord sold in Japan. You hit the switch and the front of the car blinks awake. It looked like the future. Then regulators studied what happens when a car hits a pedestrian. A headlight pod that stands up off the hood is a hard raised edge aimed right at a person's body. New pedestrian impact safety standards in Japan and Europe demanded smooth, forgiving front ends that bend and absorb. A pop-up pod fails that test on contact. Mazda kept the feature alive on the FD-RX-7 into the early 2000s, longer than almost anyone. But the rules won. No manufacturer can put a true pop-up headlight on a new car today and pass. The future got outlawed for being shaped like a weapon. Number 2. Spike tires. In the snowy north of Japan, drivers ran studded tires for grip on ice. Tiny metal pins bit into frozen roads and saved lives on the climb through Hokkaido winters. There was a problem nobody saw coming. Those same metal studs ground the dry pavement into a fine powder. By the late 1980s, cities like Sapporo were choking on clouds of road dust thick enough to be a public health emergency. So Japan passed the studded tire regulation law, enforced from 1990. Using them in designated regions became illegal. Making them and selling them got prohibited too. An entire category of safety equipment was wiped out, and it pushed Japanese tire makers to invent the studless winter tire you can still buy today. A tire that saved drivers got banned for slowly poisoning the towns they drove through. Number 3. R12. Freon air conditioning. Climb into a Japanese car from the early 1990s or before, and the air conditioning runs on a refrigerant called R12, also known as Freon. It worked beautifully. It also tore a hole in the ozone layer. R12 is a chlorofluorocarbon, and once scientists connected it to the thinning shield over the planet, the world moved fast. Under the Montreal Protocol, production of R12 was banned in developed nations from the mid-1990s. You cannot legally manufacture it. You cannot recharge an old system with new R12. That ice-cold vent in a vintage Toyota Soarer relies on a chemical that is now contraband. The comfort feature outlived its own coolant. Number 4. Asbestos brakes and clutches. For decades, the safest way to stop a car involved a quiet killer. Asbestos was woven into brake pads and clutch linings because it handled heat without falling apart. Japanese cars used it everywhere. The catch is that asbestos dust causes a brutal cancer of the lungs, and brakes are dust machines by design. Japan spent years phasing it out, removing friction materials from the allowed list during the 2000s, and reached a total ban on asbestos in 2012. Replace a clutch in a classic Datsun with a period-correct asbestos part today, and you are handling a banned carcinogen. The thing that stopped your car was slowly killing the mechanic who serviced it. Number 5. Engines built for leaded gasoline. Older Japanese engines were tuned to drink leaded fuel. The lead lubricated valve seats and let engineers chase higher compression. It also pumped a neurotoxin into the air of every city those cars drove through. Lead linked to brain damage in children. One by one, governments outlawed leaded gasoline for road use, and the world finished the job, eliminating leaded petrol for cars entirely. The fuel those engines were designed around no longer legally exists at the pump. The engine is not banned by name. The thing it was built to burn is. It is a machine engineered for a fuel the planet decided to make illegal. Number 6. Two-stroke K-car engines. The earliest K-cars and microcars were powered by tiny two-stroke engines, the same basic design as an old chainsaw. The Subaru 360 buzzed around on one. They were light, cheap, and simple. They also burned oil along with the fuel and threw out a haze of pollution that no modern standard would tolerate for a second. As Japan tightened emissions law, the two-stroke road car became impossible to certify and quietly died. You cannot build and sell a two-stroke passenger car today. The little engine that put a nation on wheels got smoked out by its own exhaust. Number 7. Carbureted engines. For most of the 20th century, the carburetor mixed your air and fuel, and Japanese cars wore them into the 1980s and beyond. The problem is precision. A carburetor cannot meter fuel cleanly enough to pass modern emissions testing, so fuel injection replaced it everywhere. This is the quiet one. No headline announced a carburetor ban. But try to certify a brand new carbureted car for road sale, and it will fail emissions on the bench. An entire way of feeding an engine became legally impossible for a new vehicle. The simplest part of the old engine bay got designed out by the rulebook. Number 8. Running with the catalytic converter removed. When Japan adopted serious emission standards, the catalytic converter became the device that scrubbed the worst poisons out of the exhaust. Tuners hated it. It choked power, so for years people gutted it or fitted a straight test pipe for a few extra horses and a louder note. Here is where it crosses the line. Removing or defeating the catalytic converter on a road car is illegal emissions tampering. That decat pipe under a tuned Sylvia is not a gray area. It is an offense. The free horsepower came with a criminal record attached. Number 9. Factory dashboard televisions facing the driver. Japan in the bubble era was a showcase of gadgets, and luxury cars like the Toyota Crown and the Nissan Sima offered a real television built into the dashboard, glowing in the center stack. It felt impossibly futuristic. Then, road law caught up with human attention. A moving video screen in the driver's line of sight is a crash waiting to happen, and operating one while the car is in motion is illegal. On top of that, Japan shut off its analog television broadcasts, so those original tuners receive nothing but static. The feature is doubly dead, banned for distracting you, and feeding a signal that no longer exists. Number 10. Motorized automatic seatbelts. In the late 1980s, American rules demanded passive protection, a restraint that buckled you in without you lifting a finger. Japanese automakers answered with a strange machine. On cars like the Honda Prelude and the Toyota Cressida, a shoulder belt rode on a motorized track and slid across your body on its own when you shut the door. People called them mouse belts. They were a clever dodge, and they had a fatal weakness, leaving your lap unsecured if you were careless. When the airbag mandate arrived and full airbag protection became required, the motorized belt was rendered non-compliant and vanished. A safety feature that crawled across your chest got replaced by the rule it was invented to avoid. Number 11. Lap belt-only rear seats. Sit in the back of an early Japanese sedan, and you may find only a lap belt, a single strap across your hips, and nothing for your upper body. In a hard stop, a lap-only belt lets you fold violently forward. Modern standards require a proper three-point belt, shoulder and lap together, in those seating positions. An old Corolla that left the factory with lap-only rear belts would not meet the requirement today. The back seat of a beloved classic carries restraints that no new car is allowed to use. Number 12. Rigid, non-collapsing steering columns. In the oldest Japanese cars, the steering column was a solid steel shaft running straight from the wheel to the gearbox. In a front collision, that shaft drives the steering wheel backward into the driver's chest like a spear. Crash safety standards killed it. New cars require a collapsible column that folds and absorbs the impact instead of impaling you. A first-generation Skyline or an early Datsun built with a rigid column would fail that standard outright. The simplest connection between you and the front wheels was, for years, also one of the most lethal. Number 13. Cars sold with no head restraints. Look at the seats in many classic Japanese cars and notice what is missing. There is no head restraint, nothing rising above your shoulders. That low, clean seat back looks elegant. In a rear-end impact, it lets your head snap backward and your neck take the full force, the classic whiplash injury. Head restraints became a required safety feature, and a car sold today without them would not pass. That gorgeous low-back seat in a vintage coupe is a design that the rules retired for trying to break your neck. Number 14. Rigid steel bull bars and pedestrian-hostile front ends. Plenty of Japanese trucks and off-roaders wore a heavy steel bull bar bolted across the nose, and certain old front ends were all hard chrome and sharp edges, tough, rugged, and brutal to anything they hit. Pedestrian protection rules changed the math completely. A rigid steel bar across the front of a vehicle turns a survivable bump into a fatal one, and several markets banned the aggressive rigid bull bar outright while demanding softer, energy-absorbing front structures on new cars. The armor that made a vehicle look unstoppable became illegal for what it did to people on foot. Number 15. Lead wheel balancing weights. This one hides in plain sight on the rim. For decades, the little weights that balance your wheels were made of lead, including on Japanese cars. They fall off. They get run over. They wash into the soil and the water, spreading a toxic heavy metal across every road. Regulations banned lead wheel weights on new vehicles, pushing the industry to steel and zinc alternatives. A set of period lead weights is now classified as the kind of toxic material you are not allowed to fit. Even the tiny clip on your rim got outlawed. Number 16. Mercury tilt switches. Inside some older cars, hidden in the bodywork, sat tiny switches that used a blob of liquid mercury to sense movement, triggering a trunk light or a ride control sensor as the car shifted. Mercury is one of the most dangerous neurotoxins on Earth, and when those cars were scrapped, it leaked straight into the environment. End-of-life vehicle rules in major markets banned mercury in new cars, and the little tilt switch went with it. A clever sensor you never knew was there got eliminated for carrying poison in a glass capsule. Number 17. Hexavalent chromium and cadmium plating. That bright jewel-like shine on old bolts, brackets, and trim often came from coatings using hexavalent chromium or cadmium. They resisted rust beautifully. They are also seriously toxic and carcinogenic. End-of-life vehicle regulations in major markets banned these heavy metals from new car production, forcing manufacturers to switch to safer coatings. The gleaming hardware in a restored engine bay was finished with chemistry that is now illegal to use on a new vehicle. The shine itself was a hazard. Number 18. Single-pane tempered windshields. The oldest Japanese cars used a tempered glass windshield, a single pane that, when it shattered, exploded into a blizzard of small fragments and often left you with no glass and no view at the worst possible moment. Safety laws standardized the laminated windshield, 2 layers of glass bonded around a plastic film that holds together when struck and keeps you inside the car in a crash. A car fitted only with an old-style tempered windshield does not meet that standard. The very glass you looked through was replaced because of how badly it failed when you needed it most. So here is what all 18 have in common. None of these features were killed for being slow or unfashionable. They were killed for what they did. They poisoned the air. They shattered into your face. They speared your chest. they sliced into the people you might hit. The golden age of Japanese cars was thrilling partly because it was reckless, built in a window of time before the safety boards and the environmental agencies finished their work. Every banned feature on this list is a small monument to a lesson someone learned the hard way. Your favorite old car is not just a machine. It is a record of everything we have since decided is too dangerous to build again. And it still gets to wear all of it, because it was born before the rules caught up. If you want to know which of these would actually keep your dream import off the road in your country, drop the model in the comments and I will tell you what it is hiding. Subscribe for the real history behind the cars you love. The next one looks at the Japanese performance icons that were secretly far more powerful than their makers ever admitted. And the strange reason they all lied about it.